British government is not really happy with CMA and their decision to block the Xbox Activision acquisition, and they are trying to influence them right now, hoping that they will change their decision. But will they really do it? Will that work? Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about the Xbox Activision acquisition again, and everything that is going on with this deal, with this acquisition in UK right now, because there's a couple of interesting updates on the story. So first off, I'm sure you already heard that UK's CMA decided to block this deal in UK, only UK. It's not a global block, but hey, that kind of blocks the rest of the process, I guess. So they decided to block this deal, and few weeks after that, a European Commission decided to allow this deal to go through in European Union. So that's a stark contrast to what CMA did, obviously. Now, obviously, the European Commission decided to make that decision based on some of the concessions that Microsoft agreed to. So, hey, they've seen some issues with that deal, but they ironed things out. They worked it out, right? But CMA looks like they just went for a full block. No, we don't care. We don't want to work with you. Let's just block that deal. And that's what really looks bad on CMA. It's not that they had concerns. European Commission had some concerns too, but they found a way out of that, right? While CMA was like, oh, fuck it, let's just block it, right? That's why it angers people, really. And yeah, like I said, UK government is not really happy with CMA right now, and there's a couple of interesting things going on there. So first off, a few days ago, there was this UK parliamentary oversight hearing on CMA's work, and government officials were asking questions on CMA's work, and also that Microsoft acquisition of Activision and why they blocked it. They asked a number of questions, they did ask whether or not CMA takes under consideration the market implications and growth implications for UK government, for UK market and stuff. They did ask about remedies, why European Commission worked out a deal with Microsoft and CMA couldn't do it, right? But you know what? Like, CMA officials kind of found their way out of these questions. They whistled out a little bit, in my opinion. They did not give any proper question. They were just, hey, we are independent, we are using independent panel of people, and their assessment of this deal is that we have to deblock, basically, right? So they didn't really want to work with Microsoft, it seems like. So that's one part of the news, and that just goes to show that UK government is actually looking into the process of how CMA work. Obviously, there's this appeal process going on right now, and that whole deal may go back to CMA. So who knows? Maybe they will change their decision. They may, not saying they will. And a lot of people say that's very unlikely because CMA seems to be very stubborn, if you know what I mean. They seem to be very convinced of their right doing, if you know what I mean. So we'll see. But so that's only part of the story. The other part of the story is there's been some comments made by UK finance minister. So this is Yahoo Finance story. You will find the link in the description to this article. And it says, British regulators should understand the need to promote growth. Finance Minister, UK Finance Minister, I should say, Jeremy Hunt said on Wednesday when asked about UK's antitrust watchdog's decision to block Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision. So here's the quote. One of the reasons that companies like Microsoft and Google want to invest in UK is because we have independent regulators that aren't controlled by politicians, Hunt told a business conference. I would not want to undermine that at all, but I do think it's important all our regulators understand their wider responsibilities for economic growth. So on one hand, he says, yeah, we don't really want to intervene. We don't want to tell CMA how to do their job. But on the other hand, looks like some of the decisions will potentially impact the economic growth in UK, right? So that's what it's all about, right? So I guess they're not really sure whether they want to have, I guess, I don't know, a stiff competition or like maybe a growth, like, because I mean, really, like if you've got a strong competition, the economy will grow. But at the same time, there are some markets that small players may not have enough, I guess, will to do, or maybe money to do, to actually enter the market and to grow the market, right? So, that's what it's all about, I think, at the end of the day. So, yeah, looks like that's another UK official that is not really happy with that decision, basically, right? And this is a reoccurring story about CMA. All these different government officials are asking these questions about like UK economy growth, because UK wanted to become this IT driven or IT focused kind of country. But if they will keep blocking these deals, like, Microsoft can just invest more money in other countries basically instead of UK, right? If they see that UK is being difficult with their investments, I mean, how do you think things will go, right? I mean, I'm sure they will consider some other countries instead of UK. I'm not saying that they will leave the UK, but that's another update. There's an interesting update on that. But when it comes to new investments, they may just say, "Oh, fuck it, UK. You've been difficult. Let's just go and invest somewhere else." I'm not saying that they will leave UK market or totally, but that may cost UK economy a little bit for sure. It may just stagnate. That's what I'm trying to say. And on that topic, on the topic of Microsoft leaving UK, because some people say, Microsoft will just leave UK business and that kind of stuff. So that question was actually asked to Microsoft's CEO, Satya Nadella, and he kind of whistled out of this question, obviously, which makes sense because these CEOs don't like these yes or no questions. So this is another tweet. Actually, it's not a tweet really. There's an interview with Satya Nadella, and he was asked when he was asked if there is even a world where he would sell Microsoft products in US, EU, but not UK. He said, "Let's wait for it to play out," right? So he didn't. Normally you would say, "Oh no, we don't want to, out of the UK," but that's okay. So first, there's two things to this story, right? First off, the interviewer asked this question very vaguely because he spoke about Microsoft products. So he didn't really say whether he meant any specific Microsoft products or all Microsoft products. So that was a very vague question. So we got a very vague answer, I guess. Let's wait for it all to play out. But Microsoft may be considering that option too. Now, I don't necessarily think that Microsoft would just leave UK, because some people say, "Oh, Microsoft will just leave UK completely and they won't sell any products there." That would be a bad decision, really. And as far as I heard, there's some other ways they could go around it. Just not selling Activision products, basically, not necessarily all Microsoft products. So that would not involve Microsoft leaving UK completely. It would involve just leaving some of the Microsoft products, Activision products really after acquisition off of UK market, basically, right? One way or the other. So that would obviously be rather bad for consumers. Now, I don't really know whether it would involve just leaving Call of Duty and other Activision Blizzard games off of Game Pass or completely off the market. I have no idea, because I've heard some stories that CMA with that blog, they actually put some extra, not necessarily legislation, but some quite strict conditions to that blog, where Microsoft, they are blocking some ways to go around that block, if you know what I mean, right? I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to be discussing that. But what I'm trying to say, that Microsoft leaving only Activision Blizzard games off of Game Pass may not be possible because of these extra restrictions that CMA put on Microsoft after the block. So, like I said, I'm not an expert on it. I'm not going to be. I won't discuss this. But yeah, it's pretty complicated. Looks like Microsoft have some options, but to kind of leave at least some products off of the UK market, but we'll see anyway. But one way or the other, just to sum this up really, UK may actually suffer when it comes to investment in IT because of that block, because that shows these big companies that it's, well, maybe let's just stay away from UK when it comes to new investments, because you never know what they will decide, and they are not huge market anyway. They are big market, but not huge, and so I don't know. Obviously, in a perfect world, Microsoft would want to sell everything in UK too, but it feels it kind of, Microsoft shows a lot of commitment to the deal, and looks like they really want to go ahead with this deal. And so who knows, they may be ready to sacrifice a portion of UK market for certain products to gain some other benefits from globally. I mean, how silly is that one medium-sized country would be able to block the whole global deal? That's kind of crazy, right? I mean, that doesn't make sense. I mean, if UK government doesn't like Microsoft, fine, block it in UK. But why should that block the whole deal for the rest of the world, right? I mean, more sensible, I guess, right? I'm talking about these regulators. So I don't know. That's kind of weird, but looks like Microsoft is really dedicated and pretty focused on that, on dragging this deal to the finish line. It may take them a little bit longer, but I would not be surprised if Microsoft announced that they are buying Activision and they are closing the deal even before FTC and CMA, and they will just restrict some of these products in certain markets for now until these decisions will clear. That's possible too, guys. So we'll see. But anyway, that's the news. These are updates I wanted to talk about when it comes to that deal in UK. I'm sure there's going to be more news to cover pretty soon. So, but for now, that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for support. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.